Well, it is easy to be fascinated by wildlife. It's rare that we get up close and personal to them in the wild, but it is important, of the utmost importance, that we remember that they are wild animals.
You might remember this story last year when a baby bison was euthanized after somebody put the baby in the trunk of his car because he thought the bison looked cold. And then just this month, a young girl attacked by a bison, thrown up into the air. And this is hard to watch, my goodness, after she got a little too close.
And now Arizona Game and Fish, well, they are sending out a warning after receiving several calls from people who are removing baby deer and elk from the wild because they think that the doe or, the fawn has been abandoned. Amy Burnett with Arizona Game and Fish here to talk about why it is so important to leave the animals in the wild. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's easy to see why people do this because they look so cute and you think that maybe they could use a little help, but that's usually not the case, right?
And baby animals are so adorable.
I know it.
And everyone
Yes,
wants to pick them up
yes.
and hold them.
Yeah.
But in this case, people are doing what they think is the right thing. They're saving an animal. And in fact, when they remove an animal from the wild, it might have dire consequences for that fawn or that baby elk.
Well, like the bison that was put in the trunk, why did they have to euthanize that?
A lot
Once
of times,
it's being touched by a person, it can't survive?
it's not that. I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of people say, well, I touched it, now I have to bring it somewhere. The mom won't accept it now. And that's just not the case. What's more likely to happen is if you take that animal and take that deer and put it in your car, is what happened last week here in Arizona, and then it's hours and hours before you put it back. And we hope that the mom is still there looking for her young, but there's no guarantees.
So, the other thing too is what if you see an animal that's injured? Should you still leave that animal in the wild, or is that an appropriate time to help?
I'm really glad that you asked, because there's a situation where there is an animal laying there and you might not know, is it been abandoned, is it not? You have questions. A healthy animal, an injured animal, always call first. And we have numbers on our website for rehabbers and also wildlife facilities, and they can often answer all these questions on the phone. They can ask you questions, have you text pictures, and they can say leave it there or yes, bring it in. But in most cases, they're going to say leave it there. It's the best for the animal.
So what would you guys do if you got a call and you came out and in fact there was a baby animal or something there by itself? Do you most often just leave it alone too?
Absolutely. If we have an animal that's just there and mom's real close by, and a lot of people just don't realize that mom is waiting to come back, waiting for you to leave. And even just taking pictures and waiting around might be enough to keep that mom from coming back.
Okay.
So make sure you leave wildlife alone. Leave that baby fawn or baby elk right there where you found it. Don't touch it. Don't get up too close, and then just enjoy the fact that you got a chance to see it.
Now the bison, I'm not going to get close because one, they're huge, and two, I've heard that they can be really aggressive.
Sure.
So I would imagine there's a lot of animals out there that look really cool, but you just stay away.
Last week I got I had a trapped ringtail that was in an air conditioning vent. And when it was in that cage, it looked like it wanted to rip my face off.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I bet.
So a lot of these animals, they look cute and cuddly, but they can bite. You'll have to, there's the chance of rabies. You'll have to get rabies shots. It's just not worth it. Just stay a distance.
So the bison video where the girl is gored, there are a couple of things that are stunning to me, not just that she was gored, but how incredibly close everybody was to an animal that big. To your point, a lot of us love to camp, and we have beautiful country here in Arizona. What would you advise if we are at a campground, or maybe we're hiking and we see something?
Well, most of your viewers watching right now are saying, I would never get that close. How dumb for that person. But be patient with people. If you see someone close by an animal, just say, that animal could be unpredictable. Please step away and stay at a distance, because they're faster than you, and it's amazing how all it takes is for them to get spooked, and things can turn aggressive from there. Or a scared animal can definitely act defensively.
All right. All it takes is to ride a simple bull, and then you get her, and you have I have a no bull policy. So I have a no bison policy now too after seeing that video.
I think you're talking about Saturday night, not this.
Well, Amy, thank you so much. Great advice and great discussion. This weekend, especially, it's the last weekend before school, so no doubt lots of folks want to try to get out in our high country, get away from the heat. So let's go ahead and check in with Kimmy. Thanks again for the
Thank you very much.